So this week I thought the question that we chose was sort of leading on a little bit from last week from Peter's great videos on some drills around how you can control sort of distance and some drills you can do at home with your wedges. So one thing we see a bit on the lesson tee is that where the club head lands relative to the ball can be a little bit unpredictable. So can sometimes land a bit too far behind the ball or can start to hit a little bit the top of the ball. So what's really important when you're hitting your wedge shots is you're able to control the arc of the swing, also sometimes called the radius. So things that can start to influence that and make it harder or less predictable as to where you land the club is if you have a lot or excessive wrist movement in your swing, and then also if we don't have a positive pivot or turn as you move through. So what we're going to look at today is, first of all, how you can perhaps check your pivot, because that's really important in achieving a predictable arc and then ground contact relative to the ball. And also just give you a little bit of a drill to have a play with around how that particular drill can also help get us some ideas on perhaps limiting some of those wrist movements and arm movements, which again can make that tricky in terms of where you control where and how the club head lands. So the first thing that we're going to do is hit a chip shot, and then we're going to have a look at my finish position, because this is a really good indicator as to perhaps what we've done in the movement and then how well we've pivoted. So I'll just go ahead and hit a shot. Okay, so what I want you to do when you hit the shot is check three things in your finish. So first of all, you're facing towards the target as to where the ball's gone. Second thing is your elbows are still slightly flexed, and then also that the butt of the club points towards your belt buckle. So what this is a really good indicator for is if the club head, which we'd often see quite a lot, is quite high, then that starts to show that we've used our wrist a little bit more. If the elbows are straight, then if we're changing our elbow flex, that's also going to influence where and how the club head lands relative to the ball. And if I'm facing towards the target, then I've had a good pivot or a good turn. Just a quick point to mention that how much you're turned will depend a little bit on the length of the shot. But I probably hit that one 5-6 yards and I'm still fully rotated to the target. Okay, so the drill that we're going to have a look at today is called the T-Rex drill. So the reason that this is a good drill is it can give you some awareness around kind of how you're controlling the arc of your swing when you're hitting wedge shots. So what I'd often see, as I mentioned in the last video, is that when the point of where the club head lands relative to the ball is unpredictable, is we perhaps see some excess wrist movements, and also we perhaps see some changes to the bend in the elbows. So both of those two things can affect where the club head lands. So as well as kind of focusing on those two areas, it also helps to achieve a good pivot or turn through to the finish. So it's called the T-Rex drill. So we're going to set up like a T-Rex. So anyone that doesn't know what a T-Rex looks like, short arms, long wrists. and you're pretty much going to go to your kind of extreme of getting the feeling of the club head pointing down. So when your arms are into your side, they're short, so we don't want the arms out straight, short arms, and then the wrists, so the club head's pointing down. If you don't get the club to point down at this point, then it'll be really hard to get the club head to the ground. So short arms, wrists out. And then what we're really going to focus on when we hit the shot is how well we pivot and turn. So give that drill a go. I hope you find it useful. If you've got any questions, then please just ask, and one of the pros will certainly get back to you. Stay safe, everyone, and we look forward to seeing you at the golf club soon.